Good morning. My name is Enrique Zamora. I'm the Chief Special Magistrate for the City of Miami Beach, and I will be hearing the cases this morning. First thing I'm going to ask is those of you who are going to be testifying, please stand up to be sworn in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Steve Rothstein, Deputy City Attorney for the City of Miami Beach. We're here today in connection with the property located at 3401 Prairie Avenue in Miami Beach. This residence is in a zoning district that's RS4, a single-family residence. Pursuant to Section 142-102 of the Land Development Regulations of the City Code, the main permitted use in the RS4 single-family residential district is limited to single-family detached dwellings. The commercial use of any single-family residence in the RS4 residential district is strictly prohibited. Prohibited commercial activities include, but are not limited to, sorry about the technical difficulty.
That's all right.
But, should I start again, or did we get it on the record? Was that a yes or no?
Start again, please.
Okay, sure. Sorry about that, Your Honor.
Not a problem.
The property that we're here today is for 3401 Prairie Avenue, which is a residential neighborhood. Its zoning district is RS4, single-family residential. Pursuant to Section 142-102 of the Land Development Regulations of the City Code, the main permitted use in the RS4 single-family residential district is limited to single-family detached dwellings. The commercial use of a single-family home in the RS4 residential district is strictly prohibited, and that would be Section 142-109 of the City Code. Prohibited commercial activities include, but are not limited to, commercial parties, events, assemblies, or gatherings on the premises. Now, it may sound that this is familiar to Your Honor because we've been here before Your Honor at least 3 times back in 2019 and in 2020.
I do remember.
We have, and we've called for your reference, obviously, Your Honor, pursuant to the evidence code, can take judicial notice of your prior orders. And back on June 3rd, 2019, we appeared here with the prior owners, the Jewish Educational Leadership, on a notice of violation that was dated on July 30th, 2018. Your Honor made extensive findings of fact in that order, actually 10 findings of facts regarding the use of the house that was inconsistent with the zoning district in which it was located. Your Honor ruled in that order, the City of Miami Beach has proven that the alleged violations have occurred. The appeal filed by the petitioner is denied. An adjudication of noncompliance is hereby entered. The property owner shall cease and desist from all non-residential uses which are prohibited in the RS4 district effective immediately. The City of Miami Beach is authorized to take any and all steps to ensure compliance with this order, and that was back again on June 11th, 2019. Unfortunately, the conduct did not stop with the unpermitted zoning issues, and we came back before Your Honor on February 10th, 2020, in connection again with multiple notices of violations, and there was an extensive hearing on that date, and again, Your Honor has, under the evidence code, properly to take judicial notice of these prior orders that Your Honor issued. And at that point in time, there was the transition period between the prior ownership, which was the prior order that I read into the record, and with the new owners that now appeared post-closing to explain to Your Honor that they would abide by the city code, that they certainly knew about it. At that hearing, Ms. Swanson testified, Mr. Petar Balagovich testified, Mr. Brescher, who's here today, testified, as well as Rabbi Frankfurter. And Your detailed findings of facts are contained on pages 2 and 3 of your order. What's important here is that when you ordered and adjudged, as a result of the testimony that was taken, the order provides the evidence is clear and convincing that the alleged violations of the Special Master Order dated June 11, 2019, and Section 114-4, subparagraph 3 of the City Code of Miami Beach did occur. The violations occurred on October 20th, 2019 through October 22nd, 2019, December 22nd, 2019, December 23rd, 2019, December 24th, 2019, and January 22nd, 2020. But most importantly, in this order, Your Honor ordered and adjudged all parties, including the new owner of the property, are hereby ordered to comply with the regulations of a single-family residential RS4 where the property is located. Unfortunately, Your Honor, we are here today for the exact same violation. The only thing that has changed for the code case is that we now have the new owners present, but the conduct has not stopped. This is severely impacting the quality of life of the residential neighborhood. Ms. Swanson is here today again. For Your Honor's a point of reference, this is not somebody that lives miles away from the house. This is somebody that's directly affected, catty corner on Royal Palm and 34th Street, which is catty corner to 34th and Prairie, where the house is located. We're also here today because there have been 2 building violations that have occurred at the property simultaneously with the improper use. And those are for interior renovations without a permit, and Mr. Martinez is here today to testify as to his observation and the footage of what needs to be corrected inside the house. And then there was also the issue of a separate building violation was issued later in the summer in July of 2021 regarding the detached structure, which was originally permitted as a garage and CO'd as a garage, which had been converted by the prior owners into a living space. The person in there refused to leave, but unfortunately there was a roof collapse, and it is now deemed an unsafe structure. So those are the issues that are going to be confronting Your Honor this morning that the city is prepared to present. We're going to begin shortly unless Mr. Brescher has an opening statement.
Good morning, Mr. Zamora. I just want to start by saying that I didn't come here for a special magistrate by ambush. We are here today, we received notice that we're here today for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. One is for the code violations that Mr. Rothstein mentioned of the interior work that was done on the prior owner. We had a meeting with the code enforcement, came into the property, we opened up the property, we showed the original plans, the city plans, and notes were made of what matches the plans and what does not match the plans. And we have applied for permits. We are on the last leg of electrical change on a revision on the permit on the main home that was just submitted last week. I spoke with the code enforcement agent that's here and said that the permit does not properly explain all of the work that is on the video that you're going to be presented with, that I had attended with code enforcement. So we do have a new expediter that we were using for the last year. Unfortunately, had health problems and also had a baby. We changed to a different service, and the plans had moved, expeditiously in the last 3 weeks. We have, according to the review, just 1 item to change on the plans. We will revise the building permit as the code inspectors just told us that we need to do. We will comply with that. And then there is the garage that was converted by the prior owners into a living space. A person was put into there. We had given them notice to leave when we purchased the building. That was in February, and then came COVID, and there was really not much we could do. And then we filed an eviction. I'm sorry, not an eviction. It's an unlawful detainer. The unlawful detainer was issued by a judge. The woman, the day before she was about to leave, finally gave us access and also called city code. And we saw that the sheetrock had fallen in the room there. We had seen the room there for the first time, actually, since we've purchased the property. Since that time, we have taken out permits. We have applied for permits for a new roof. We applied for permits to demolish the illegal apartment that was in there, all of the plumbing. And we were notified last week that all of our plans are accepted for permit. And the last issue was the permit issuer wanted to see the color of the roof. What color? I'm sorry. We had originally applied for a slate roof, and then we were advised that in the city of Miami Beach that slate roofs are no longer permitted, so we would have to remove the current slate roof and put on a stone roof. And the last thing that we were asked to do was to put on to reapply, and we did reapply to put on a stone tile roof, and the city had asked what color, because that color, they had to approve the color. We sent in that color, it's right here, and we were hoping that the permit would be issued before this special magistrate hearing. Regarding the other issues, I don't feel comfortable discussing them because we were not noticed for those issues. I will say that we did take Special Master Zamora's directives very seriously. The property is no longer used as commercial property. It's no longer a school. It's no longer being used for anything other than we have a rabbi that has moved in. His name is Rabbi Aryeh Wall. He and his family. He has moved in. He moved in in August. He has actually met with commissioners in his residence, in his home, and he has shown commissioners on this chamber that will be coming in afterwards. I think there's a meeting afterwards. They will verify that he is living in the home. It is set up as a home. There's a living room, dining room, bedrooms like any other home. And as the original plans, there is a room for services which he conducts for himself, just as before. As far as any other complaints, I live on Miami Beach as well. And I said last time at the last hearing, neighbors do have parties. And there was a very big party 2 weeks ago on Monday. The calendar day, the Gregorian calendar day, and the English calendar day was Martin Luther King's birthday. Not to disparage Martin Luther King's birthday, but we had an Orthodox Jewish celebration that all Orthodox Jews celebrate. It's called Tu B'Shvat. It's the new year of trees and fruits. It's a very big celebration, and the rabbi put out a big table of fruit and invited people to come and celebrate trees giving fruit, and spoke from 7 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. Knowing that there would be a large crowd that would want to hear the rabbi speak, we hired security, we hired parking people to make sure that nobody would park in anybody's grass, driveways, and to turn people away when we felt that there were too many. That was that Monday night. That was that Sunday night, Sunday night before Martin Luther King's birthday. The room, and I showed it to the inspector over here, Alberto, had seen the room where we pray. You cannot fit 450 people. You cannot fit 100 people in that room. You could fit about 40 people in that room. 40 people in that room. I just want to say that we did take those directives very seriously. I myself personally did take those directives seriously. And especially for the neighbors in the area, we had said very, very clearly, if you have an issue or have a problem, please come and talk to us. Please discuss it with us. I have not heard one neighbor come to us to complain to me, to the rabbi, the resident living there. We gladly discuss with them and hear any of the issues that they have. But this is a residential property. It was converted to residential property when we took over the property. We don't want any commercial property. We live in the neighborhood. We don't want a disaster over there. We don't want our houses to be devaluated either. It is a residential property. It is a home. The plans that were submitted to the city are for a home, and that is it, a single-family home. And to deny the rabbi that lives there the right to pray in his home, I'm not sure what it falls under, but I did speak to Mr. Rothstein quite a few times that, according to the city charter, a person is allowed to pray in his home or have prayer services in their home, have a bar mitzvah, have a bris, have any religious service in their home. And that is the only thing that is being conducted today. And if any commissioner or any person wants to come in and take a look, that is all that is being done there today. It is not a commercial property. There is zero commercial activity going on. However, I just want to say that if that is an issue that's going to be brought up today in this meeting, that I'm asking Special Magistrate and the City Attorney to set a separate hearing, because I will bring in our attorney, and I'd like our attorney to better represent us in that matter. I feel confident enough that our attorney can sit here and explain, and that we could have enough witnesses here to explain that there is no commercial activity. As for today, we were noticed for these two violations that have been lagging and dragging on, and I'm prepared here to answer to those violations as one of the managing members of the corporation, of the property. I have spoken to code enforcement for the first time face-to-face today. I saw Mr. Alberto Martinez for the first time since we met at the property, and I'm going to take all of the directives and everything they tell me today seriously to get this permit opened and have everything corrected that was done incorrectly by any previous owner. I will do whatever directives that they tell me to do today to get these permits open, closed, and done. Anything other than that, I don't think should be adjudicated or discussed today without proper counsel to represent the activities that are going on there. I can say this, that since we have taken over the property, we have discouraged many, many people from coming over to the property to know that there's a new sheriff in town, that there are new owners, and to reduce the traffic or any inconvenience to the neighbors. If the neighbors have an issue, we'd be more than happy to sit down and have a roundtable meeting with them, that they can tell us what their issues are and what they would like to see. And the rest of the rabbi himself who lives there, the resident, would be more than happy. And we have spoken to one of the commissioners that lives up the block, passes by every single morning and says good morning to me or to the rabbi, that we would love to sit, the rabbi, the resident, the person who lives there, would love to sit down, or if he could set up a meeting, because he knows them, if he could set up a meeting with any of the residents that live there, say, what are your issues and what could we do to make this neighborhood, to make it quieter, that we could conduct our services, that the rabbi can conduct the service as an Orthodox Jew, and at the same time, making our neighbors happy.
Your Honor, if I may briefly just respond to some of these.
I want to do a couple of things.
About notice.
Yeah, I want to, number one, I think we haven't read the file numbers into the record.
No, we have not.
So would you please do that?
Sure. Okay, SMB 2021-01091 for 3401 Prairie Avenue, SMB 2021-01305 for 3401 Prairie Avenue, and SMC 2021-01587 for 3401 Prairie Avenue.
One more thing. I don't believe you said your name at the beginning. I want to make sure.
My name is Barry Brecher, Brecher. I live at 930 West 47th Court, Miami Beach.
And you were here before me once before when the property was purchased. Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. All three notices were sent out in accordance with Florida law. They were sent out certified mail to the addresses that were known. They were sent not only to the registered agent, they were sent to the property, they were sent to the managing member, Mr. Goodfriend's alternate address, because the address on Indian Creek was insufficient. The certified mails, from what I understand from Your Honor's clerk, came back refused, not unclaimed, no forwarding address, but flat out refused. When those notices came back, code compliance for the case that is the SMC case, went out and posted those violations on the property. So the city's position is that there was proper notice to be here today.
And I hear you, but you also know that I usually grant the first continuance. And when a party's telling me that he needs to have his attorney here, I think that's very important.
Well, Your Honor, I'd just like to point out that we had the same issue back in 2018. We're constantly we're going back in time constantly, and we're just, unfortunately, and I don't mean to make this as a joke, but it's like Groundhog's Day. We keep reliving the same events over and over again. This happened with their initial counsel, who showed up for the first hearing and said that he was unprepared. He wasn't aware of what the nature of the violation was, and then we went on to the hearing. It got continued one time for counsel. The last time when Mr. Galbert appeared, Mr. Galbert only appeared as the closing agent to make sure that the title was transferred properly to the new entity. There were some issues regarding the entity that purchased it. As the congregation purchased it for the rabbi, it was represented to Your Honor at that time that this would be a single-family residence. So the city's prepared to go forward. We understand and appreciate Your Honor's concern that a property owner does have the right to counsel, but the building violation should go through, and I would ask that we proceed on the building violations if Your Honor is inclined. But again, I just, for the record, need to object to the continuance, especially at the morning of the hearing, 30 minutes into the hearing.
I hear you, and this is something that I want to make sure. I'm going to proceed with the two cases that you're ready to proceed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
As to the other one, I assure you that I will not give you another continuance. That next time you're here, if you're not here with an attorney, I will proceed. And that's a promise I'm making to you, okay? We need to put this to rest. And I'm going to have a hearing reset within 30 days just to hear that. As soon as possible, I'm going to work out a date and get your attorney up and running, because I don't want the attorney to come here and say, I'm not ready. If he or she is not ready, I'm going to proceed anyways. This needs to stop. I've been working with this property for 3 years now. It's enough. I don't want to hear about this property anymore. We need to resolve all the issues from both sides. Very important that we respect the ownership as being a private property. It worries me a little bit that you're saying this is a family home and it's owned by a corporation. That kind of confuses me a little bit, but that's right. I guess that could happen. However, this needs to finally be put to bed. We need to finish it. That's understood. I will reset it again, and I want you here with an attorney who is ready to proceed. Okay? But in the meantime, we're going to proceed with the other two cases that you're ready to proceed. All right?
May I be on the record?
Yes.
Thank you. When we were noticed and it was posted, the notices were only for the two building code violations. Our attorney, Abraham Galbert, was notified and was going to even come here for the building violations. We had no idea that this would be other than the building code
I hear you.
violations.
But please let Mr. Galbert know that next time I want him here with you to be ready to proceed. I just want to make sure, and I want service to be in person, okay? I don't want to hear that it was refused. This needs to be served in person, and if you need to do it with a police officer, you do it with a police officer. But I want service. That cannot be said, well, it was not accepted. Very important. Posted, given, and everything. We're going to go by the book. all right? But I want you here with your attorney next time, okay?
I would like to be on the
Your Honor,
record, I'd like to be on the record to say that when we were advised of the two hearings for the zoning, for the building, Mr. Galbert informed us that he had already planned to be in Israel and will not be available today. So when we looked at the issues, the special magistrate, when we had thought that all it would be today was regarding the building violations, he said, just, it's not a big deal, go and discuss the building violations, and that's it. Had we known that this would be a discussion or an open forum with neighbors coming in before the special magistrate, then we would have been better prepared. We would have a lot more people here today, and our attorney would absolutely be here. So I just wanted to have that on the record, that we're not playing games. Mr. Galbert had pre-planned to be in Israel for a family bar mitzvah, and simply, we had no idea, and that's why I had said in the opening that to have special magistrate by ambush, it's because we had no idea.
Don't repeat yourself.
Yes.
Now listen to me. And I know Mr. Galbert, okay? Professionally, I've known him. He's a good attorney, of course. But Mr. Galbert, last time he wasn't here either. You told me last time that he believed that the violations were going to be dismissed and he didn't show up. I haven't seen him yet.
Understood.
But if he's not here next time with you, I'm proceeding.
Understood.
Please tell him that.
I will.
Okay? This
I
is a
will.
personal message to Mr. Galbert.
I will.
And it's very important. I don't want any travel, anything. It will have to be here. And if not, then you might have to get a different attorney. There are other choices as well.
Could we just have a scheduling, could we just schedule around?
Not now. Not
No.
now, because I need to look at my schedule. But I promise you it's going to be within 30 days. And I'm going to let you know because we're going to serve you. And if Mr. Galbert cannot be here, I suggest you find yourself another attorney.
He'll be.
This is not going to be delayed any longer.
Understood.
Okay? So, now let's proceed with the two cases that he's ready to proceed. and
Sure.
then
Your Honor, just to clarify the record.
Yes.
The reason that building posts its own violations. So building posted two violations. Code compliance posted their own violation. So to say that he only received 2 out of the 3 postings is incorrect.
Well, if it is so, he has asked me that he wants to have his attorney here, and I will always do that. When somebody says, I want an attorney, I give him the chance. It's one more chance, and that's it. No more chances.
And Your Honor, the city appreciates that, but I just want you to know that this is not an isolated, one-time parking event as Mr. Brescher had represented. And I just want, just so that you have a flavor of what's going on here, March 27th, 104 people. March 28th, 56 people. March 29th, 53 people. March 30th, 74. March 31st, 51. April 1st, 51. April 2nd, 59. April 3rd, 65. Violations issued. It hasn't stopped. As many as 132 people were present at the residence on January 16th, 120 on the 17th. This is a great impact to these neighbors, and to have this go forward in violation of your original order that required a cease and desist of this type of activity, the fact that we came back again for a second time and Your Honor ordered that this needs to stop and it hasn't stopped, we certainly would appreciate that this be set as soon as possible based upon everyone's schedule.
And I will.
Yes,
But
Mr. Rothstein, where did you get those numbers that of the attendance, the people that?
Those were prepared by
Okay,
code, and that's the evidence that was
I'm
going to be
not,
proffered.
no,
So then we could-
listen to me, it's not happening. I rule that this is not going to be heard today, and I don't want to hear any more about anything. All I'm going to tell you is that on my order dated, this was back, I believe the June date, I had violations similar to what I'm hearing, October 20th through the 22nd of 2019, December 22nd, 2019, the 23rd, the 24th, January 18th. That was 2 years ago. If the city prove what I'm hearing, I think you're going to have a problem. I mean, this is not like I am inviting a couple of friends over to pray.
And I'm
This
just
is a
gonna say-
whole bunch of people.
I'm just going to say that we offered Mr. Rothstein video of the days, and he didn't take us up on it.
All right.
It's absolutely not true what the city is saying, by the way.
All right, you'll have the chance to
I'm gonna
show
have a
your
chance,
side as well.
absolutely.
What I'm saying is that what I'm hearing troubles me, okay?
But I'm telling you, as the special magistrate, we have video of any day that
And I'll give
and
you
the
the
city could come in and
opportunity-
take a look at it.
Yes,
And,
and I will,
and it's absolutely not true, and to instigate and to get you worked up, to say that we're doing this and we're violating all over again, before we even have a hearing, I'm just going to tell you that we will present evidence that what the city is saying is not true, but we would like to know where this evidence is coming from before this hearing.
It's coming from the Code Compliance
I
Department.
hear you.
I'd
Listen,
like this,
I don't want you to argue anymore. Stop it. This is my courtroom. I am the one who speaks. When I speak, everybody else keeps quiet. Do we understand that? Are we good? All right. I like that. Now, again, we will hear the whole case, and you'll have the opportunity to show your videos, and the city will. And once I see both sides, I will rule. Well, I'm telling you that I have had this problem with this particular property with the prior owner, I hear you, before. And it bothers me that it's in front of me again, okay? But you will have that opportunity. And now we're just going to proceed with the other two cases.
Thank you.
And I assure you that within 30 days, we're going to be here again, and everyone is going to have a chance to show their side of the story. And then once I hear everyone, I'll decide.
thank you,
Okay?
Your Honor, I really appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor, at this time, I had witnesses for the Planning Department, Mr. Belush, as well as Code Compliance. Are they excused for today?
Yes.
Thank you all.
So which is the first case I want to hear now?
That would be SMB 2021-0109, which is the unpermitted work and reconfiguration of the interior portion of the residence.
Okay. So, city may proceed when ready?
Sure. Mr. Alberto, would you please state your name for us?
Roberto Martinez, Building Department, Safe Structure and Violation Section.
And how long have you worked for the violation section for the city of Miami Beach?
Since 2007.
In the course and scope of your, or briefly, could you tell the special magistrate what your job entails?
Responding complaints, routine inspections, issuing violations, and testifying in court, follow-up inspections, many other sorts of enforcement of building code.
Okay. Back on April 9th, 2021, did you have an occasion to visit a residence located at 3401 Prairie Avenue?
Yes, I visited the property.
And what was the nature of your visit to the property?
We have received a complaint there were contractors working on the property without permits.
And prior to April 9th, 2021, did you visit the property to inspect whether or not there was in fact work being done by a contractor without an approved permit?
I don't recall going out to the property prior to that day.
Okay. Specifically, do you recall an incident with the hot water heater that you went to
Yes,
investigate?
I do. Yes.
And was that before or after April 9th, 2021?
The exact date, I don't recall it, but I do recall that incident, and we do have it in records. It was on, let me see, let me give you the exact time and date. Bear with me for a second, Your Honor.
Sure, please, take your time.
Actually, Mr. Martinez, could it have been before February 1st, 2021?
Yes, it was before that day.
Okay, and then let me hold off on the April 9th, but did you have an occasion to visit the property on February 1st, 2021?
February 1st, let me see for a second. Yes, I visited the property on February 1st.
And as part of your job duties, it is to write violations. Is that correct?
Yes, it's requested for me to write violations and I'll write them up. Yeah.
And did you personally enter the residence on or about February 1st, 2021 to do an
Yes.
inspection.
Yes.
Was anyone present with you on that date?
Yes.
And who else was present with you?
There was the contractor who was there, the electrical contractor. There was also some workers, which they were working there, but I don't know they were contractors. I couldn't get a chance to ask them because basically they took off. There was, if I recall, it was the owner of the property, or there was personnel in there, people in there, gathering around us, whatnot. And that was pretty much it.
And were you afforded access to the property at that
Yes,
time?
yes.
And what did you observe?
We observed, well, there was an electrical contractor who was there for a service call, allegedly to her, as she said. And there was no running water because the guys on the jacuzzi bathroom area were working on the water, so there was no water in the property, so they couldn't run the test for the heater, for the pool heater. You can't run it dry, it'll burn out. So therefore, they couldn't test it. So I was asking them because there was an applied permit in our system if they were working without permits, and they told me they were there only for that scope of work for service. We did notice there was new gas heaters. There was mechanical units installed. We also noticed they configured. Well, there was a remodel on the property there. The owner, or whoever did it, previous owners or contractors, and it was being occupied at that time. So we went back and couldn't find permits that were issued for that scope of work. So we proceeded to issuing the case of violation. Now we never visited the full property, and that was the second visit after that one.
Okay, so as part of, just so that I understand your testimony, when you were out the first time with the contractor, you observed certain work that appeared to be under construction.
No, it was under construction.
It was under construction, and you checked your system and it revealed that there was no approved permit, is that
There
correct?
was no approved permit in our system, correct?
Okay, did you do a subsequent visit to the property, a more detailed walk through
Yes.
the property?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and do you recall who was with you on that visit?
It was me, the expediter. I don't know, was the contractor or the qualifier, was the permit expediter. It was my chief at that time, Mr. Avalos. I'm assuming they were the owners there. I do recall the gentleman here, and whatever people were in the house, in the property.
Okay, and on that particular day, were you wearing your body cam?
Yes, I was.
And was the body cam on for the entire visit while you were inside the
Yes, for the full visit. Yes.
Okay, and when you returned to to City Hall after your inspection, what did you do with the camera or the footage?
After we finished for the day, we put it on the rack to recharge and upload the footage to the server, and we requested the video from microfilm in order to have the video.
So the footage after you inspect the home is uploaded into the city system, and if you needed to recall it, you would be able to contact somebody to recall that footage. Is that correct?
Yes, but nevertheless, I don't think it's a city system. It's through an independent party that the city hires or not.
Okay, so it's done through a city party as opposed to a
Taser, the same process I'm assuming the police department has.
Okay. In preparation for today's hearing, did you request that footage from your?
Yes, we do have the first visit, the second visit, which was the proof of service, physically posted to the site, and the third visit, which is the one more entailed of the whole first floor.
Okay. Do you have any of those with you here today that you provided to the IT department?
Yeah, Abraham. He's my supervisor, my chief, Mr. Avila, Mr. Abraham Alvarez.
Okay.
This is number 3. I believe they have a copy and we can show it on the...
Your Honor, with your permission, the city would like to play the video based upon Mr. Martinez's inspection so that you could fully understand the nature of these violations and the seriousness of them.
Yes.
Please proceed.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
We explained to the gentleman, and the previous owner, was it the previous owner? The other guy who was there, there was two people on the property. We explained to you and the other gentleman who was there.
The other gentleman was also one of the managing members of the
Okay.
corporation.
Right, so we explained to him the scope of work. My
Correct.
supervisor went through very detailed.
Correct.
And I was pointing out some other areas in which my supervisor saw in there too, and It's all
Okay,
recorded.
let's go ahead with the
All right,
video.
good.
And I might add, they're very polite and kind.
Okay. Proceed with the video, please.
Where else? Oh, there we go. Takes 30 seconds for the sound to come on. I guess I didn't notice I was recording.
Okay.
That was the second bit. I apologize for the music. Okay. That was my,
Actually, video 2, we're going to play also. That was the actual posting of the violation, which
Yes.
was video 3.
that was my second visit, when I delivered the proof of service as a violation.
Just to keep the record straight, which violation was posted that day?
This is for violation BVC 21-000694, which is the stop work order.
Correct. This it's the first video. We're trying to get it, I guess.
Okay.
No, that's the second. That's the third video. That's the last one. The first video.
Go on, man.
That's the video we need. Yeah. Well, that's the last visit. That's the third visit.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. I apologize for the music again. Sorry. That's actually the first one.
I'm Alan Martinez with the building department in the city. I'm here to see what kind of work you guys are doing.
I'm just here to troubleshoot.
to see that scope of work? No, that's the attic, but I wanted to see the scope of work.
That's my show. That's computer.
Okay.
So I always
You know if there's any electrical pan or anything like that?
I don't have any
The electrical contractor was there. Supervisor. See the work they're doing. And there were windows installed. Not a problem. Try to answer complaints within the same day or 8 hours. Disappearing on myself. Looking for them. It's a pyramid, so might as well call the office, you know. That's, their number's right there.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Albert Martinez. I work for the City of Miami Beach Building Department. I'm good. How you doing? I'm here in front of 3401 Prairie Avenue. You have one of your crewmen here. Hello? 3401 Prairie Avenue. Prairie. Yeah. They disappeared. I don't know where they are. They're inside or whatnot. I just wanted to see the scope of work because there's an electrical permit in our computer system that's been applied for. We don't know if the work already started or not. So they tell me they're here for a service call, for a HIPO. I want to verify their source. So I don't know where they are, you know. Tell them out here, right? It's a blonde girl with a skinny guy. I don't know. I didn't catch her name or anything. Yeah, I'm right here.
This is something you have to do sometimes. You know, people disappear, you know, they don't, you know, they can't see authority or whatnot. I call them in office and like, hey, where you guys?
There you are.
They, see, gets
I don't know where you went. Where you guys went?
I was trying to get the information. We're not doing work here. We were just.
Oh, this is me right here.
All right.
There's the whole story is this: it's an electrical permit applied, so we don't know if you guys are the contractors actually doing that work or not. So I know it's a service call or whatnot,
Yeah.
but we need to see it.
I got you. They have other contractors in there right now.
So can I go and see it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't have plans or anything like that. They've got other construction going on and stuff.
How can I get there?
You just walk around to the side
Through
of the
there?
ramp. I'm not sure who's in charge here, though. You know.
Let me get another business card. Let's figure it out together. Who's in charge?
I got a business card, so I got more in the car.
All right, let's figure out who's in charge, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So my boss is calling the guy who called us.
Okay.
Hey. Yes, I'm talking to him. Yeah, so who's the contractor in charge here? You? Anybody, he doesn't know either.
We haven't applied permit, but you know, it's just a bid, you know. They contracting with a license. Who knows?
Ben was calling the guy who called us to do the service call, and he was supposed to call me back. Right. But there is an applied permit to this. Same. I'm just like, I was here to check power, and there's no water, so there's nothing I need to do on my part. All right, I'm gonna walk with the building department and see if we can't find a set of plans or something. All right.
You guys know the contract attached to that process number, right?
So they sent me here because they were like, something's not working, but there's no water in my heater pump, so I can't even check it.
Yeah.
We weren't like going to do any work today.
I got you. It's a service call already.
Yeah. So I would assume that they got
It's the task structure from the other case.
Have you spoken to a contractor? Yeah.
Hola. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? ¿Ustedes están haciendo algún trabajo aquí?
Sí.
Yo soy del building department. Son electricians.
Okay.
O sea, los electricistas. ¿Podemos verificar el trabajo que están haciendo?
Sorry, that's okay.
So sorry.
That's,
Vamos a verificar.
I'm waiting on you.
See the sink, and I was in the plants, and one of that area has been reconfigured. Same thing with the partitions there.
¿Y eso qué le pasó?
Eso es que se rompió la tubería
Ah, se le rajó.
del agua caliente.
Ya. Ah, por eso que es. Oh, this ties into you guys too. That's what you're saying.
There's a deck that was built there. Inspections also.
We are changing the
¿Se rompió? Y ellos están aquí por service call, para el pump, the heater pump.
They said it's not working, but it wouldn't be working without water, you know? The heater pump is pretty bad. You want to see it?
Let's go and see it too.
All the roamings on top. The bathrooms not right. The sprinkler system is there.
Ya está haciendo ahí, soldando, ¿no? Sí. Gracias, maestro. Jesus. Fingers, right? Fingers. You got the heater pump, okay.
You got it.
Pero tiene agua.
I'm afraid to keep turning this on without water.
No, yo te espero por que tenga agua. ¿Entiendes? No lo prenda así al seco. ¿Lo apagó? purpose of the move because there's a lot of people in the morning. And there's a lot of people that think out the move. Bueno, ¿y el señor se fue? ¿Se fue el señor?
El señor,
¿El que estaba aquí? Bueno, está para allá afuera, ¿no?
salió,
Ah, ok.
mero salió.
Salió, ok, vamos a buscarlo. Gracias.
Sí, él se fue, no está, él va y regresa ya.
Ok.
¿Y qué dices?
Ah, well.
Yeah, they got new doors, so the key wasn't in the lockbox. The guy had the key. He showed up. Maybe they put the doors in. It's alright. It's just a Monday. Alright. Yeah, it's okay.
Alright, well. Seems a pop-up is less of the words, but nevertheless, it's new equipment, really, that you have in there.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I have to go back and find any plans or any specs. You know, you have the records. If you're here for a service call, he's not going to replace the whole pump system.
I can't give you my service call for
Right.
the water, you know.
And it shouldn't be turning out, into water and so forth.
That's what I said. I said I can't turn this on anymore. You know, I already clicked it on once and I'm doing it again.
You can run it dry.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of stuff there. It's not, I don't even know the occupancy is. If it's a single family or commercial. It seems like it's a place to play, right?
This is a place to play, right?
So we treat it as commercial. I mean, it's different requirements they got to hear about. You know, we got to go back and see the permits, which I doubt, you know, for any of the scope of work, and then so forth. If you do get the water on, you know, and we do the service call for that, why not? Yeah, go ahead do the repairs. But you know,
Yeah, I think they're trying to get us back here Wednesday,
Okay.
so that they're done and everything's good to go. I will pass everything to my boss and let him know.
and do a summary exactly of the repairs, what it was.
Yeah.
You know, bring the scope of work and so forth. There is an electrical permit in our system, but I don't know if it's tied into you guys or anything. It's a process. It's an electrical process number. It's not even approved yet.
I got you.
So I was sent out here.
So it's like a bid right
So,
now.
yeah, I don't know if you have the contractor signed to it or not. So I see ELC, you know, and the electrical license. So I
Yeah,
figure you put two and two together. I'm
From what
assuming.
I understand is, I guess one of the rabbis here gave us a call and said that my pool computer's not working. But it looked to me like somebody just turned that timer off. And that's why we were called out, you know. But
All right, well,
as far as further, I'll pass that along to my boss, see if they can
Awesome.
straighten out.
and I said you got my business card and keep me in the loop with the emails. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Based upon your observations there that day on February 1st, 2021, what did you do next?
We went back and, if I recall, I spoke with Mr. Avalos. We researched in our system, and we couldn't find permits for the work that we found in that area.
Okay, and
The house.
again, directing you to the video of that area, we're talking about electrical, plumbing, and other life safety issues, is that correct?
Yes, there's some safety issues. I don't know if you heard on the video. He says what the occupancy is, if it's a commercial or residential. You know, it ties into the building code for means of egress and whatnot. And our concern was the safety, really. They didn't have water. I know the whole house had water and whatnot. So I was trying to look for the plumbing contractor, or the guy doing the plumbing work. And couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know where he went.
Now, in the video, when you exited the residence and you walked along the corridor to looked like a boiler room and some other type of equipment,
Correct. Pool equipment. The
pool
pump.
equipment, was that all new construction in there?
Yeah, there's new PVC piping. You see me taking the pictures. That's the manufacture dates on the pipes. So you can see it wasn't built in 1988 when they built that addition.
And you were also taking pictures to document the water heater. Were you checking anything in particular about the date of manufacture on that?
Correct. On the water heater as well, if we notice something that was replaced recently, we got to make sure that it's done to code. So we require permits and inspection.
And did your research, when you went back to the office
Yes.
review, any permits that were in a approved status for the work that you saw?
Yes, we researched if there was any permits in the past history for approved and finalized. If it's within the past, it will be finalized. And current issued permits, and we couldn't find any.
So there were no active building permits for
No
the work
active.
that you observed
No,
in
there
the
was-
house on February 1st, 2021?
Correct. There was an electrical process and applied to do the work, and there was that company tied into that permit. And
When a permit is in applied status, is it appropriate for the work to commence?
no, sir. No, it has to be first passed through our plan reviews and get the approval from plan reviewers, and they comply with the current code. And once it gets issued, they could go ahead and commence the work, with the liability and insurance already in record.
Is the property owner permitted to continue doing work without an approved permit?
No.
What is the city's process for notifying the property owner that they cannot continue with the work?
If we're there, we tell them, like I told the electric contractor, do not do any work. You're here for a service call? Yes, you continue. I was trying to get in contact with the plumbing guy in charge of the older gentleman there, and tell them to cease and desist until they get the permits. But if it's an emergency that they got to connect it for the water to supply the whole house, they could do an emergency repair permit to go ahead and supply the water to
But
the house.
did your investigation reveal any emergency permit?
No, there was nothing there, so therefore we stopped the work and we issued a notice of violations, stop work order for the time being.
When you say you stopped work and they're supposed to cease and desist work, is that called a stop work order?
Correct.
And was the stop work order issued for this particular property?
Yes, sir.
And was that what we saw posted on the first video?
On the first video, correct. It was on the first video.
So you posted so that the property owner knows that there are violations on the property?
Yeah, we do primary proof of service through certified mail, and after that, we also do the secondary.
Now, when you were in the area of concern that you were investigating on this particular visit,
Yes.
you noticed that there were electrical cables and lighting fixtures.
Yes.
Are those up to code?
That will have to be reviewed through the electrical contract, our electrical reviewer, and our inspector to be done to code. We know for a fact that it was done without permits and inspections.
There were no permits and no inspections.
Correct.
Subsequent to your visit on this date and speaking with Mr. Avalos, did you return to the property to do a complete inspection of the entire first floor?
Yes, Mr. Avalos wanted me to be there at the property. We visited the property, recorded the whole instance of the second visit, which is way more detailed of the full scope of work on the first floor. We never get access to the second floor. And yes, that right there describes the full scope of work. Because, if you're going to pull a permit for a section, you can't piecework. You got to do the whole section completely. It's all intertwined.
Your Honor, the next video that we have from that second visit of the entire first floor is quite lengthy. It's about an hour.
Well, if you want me to watch it, I will.
Okay?
I think it's really good too also for the gentleman here to pay close attention to the second video, which it does detail the full scope of work in the
Let me ask you
property.
something, Mr. Bretcher. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask based on that video that you saw today, or any other questions of this inspector? No. Okay. So, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We may proceed to the next one.
Okay. Then we're going to call, if you can get them to do the next one.
And this is still relevant to the same violation that we
Yes,
have?
this is all the interior work that needs to be completed to bring this house into compliance.
Yes, to code.
But while this is just queuing up, Mr. Martinez, when you saw that detached structure with the roof, with the tarp on it,
Yes.
that's the subject of the next violation.
Oh, the
is that
next one.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
go, man. There you go. All right. Yay, ¿cómo estás? How you doing? No, I can mess up the grass and all that. Hey, Tara, kid, how you doing? How's everything?
Good.
How's everything? Hello?
Your kids?
Good, busy.
I got the phone in five.
What?
I know Mabel personally. We used to work together. So,
Little brother?
Another boy.
Little brother?
A little brother.
Good? Not far
Good
off.
for you.
Dicen que the perfect couple
Ay,
is
come
the
on.
same sex.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that's what they say.
Bueno, that's what they say.
Mira, amigo, let me show you what we have here.
Ajá,
Okay. This is the original.
ajá.
Okay? So if you want to walk through and see if there is any difference that needs to be legalized, with permit or whatever, then that's the application that we need to do. Okay? So, where are we standing right now? Okay. Let me show you there. Yeah, right here. I think right here. I think this is the way. This is the way that is. Yeah, exactly. That's the way it is. Right. For us, it doesn't matter. You agent? Yeah. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And you are? I'm Barry. Oh, I'm one of the there's a few owners, so I just want to.
My name is Daniel.
Daniel Weiss. Nice to meet you, sir. He's a
Hello.
this is my bodyguard. No, I'm just kidding. He's just my dog. Okay. Come, whenever you're ready. Okay, thank you. Well, yeah, it's been leaking probably for 20 years, I don't know. Check the terrace, maybe there is some kind of gap in the joint. What we want to do is take out a permit and demolish the whole thing. If you're gonna demolish the whole thing, that's fine. Yeah. But if the repair is a big area to repair, you don't need a permit, otherwise maybe just call it minor. If it's something minor, you don't need a permit. Okay. Just check it. Okay. Because if you leave it like that, you're gonna lose the joints. Yeah, you know, the widgets.
Yeah, they're all running out.
Catch water, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Okay. Okay, so we're standing, so that we came in. Okay. You're standing here. So this is here. That's the living room. That's the living room. I think it is. Okay. That's,
And dining room.
that's living room, dining room.
The stairs.
Yeah.
Two
I
bath.
need to look because this wall is not marked here. Okay. But I bet we need to check in records if there is any wall.
Well, I think this is the existing, you look here, this was an addition before. So this is existing house, you see? So this existing, this is an addition, it's built after.
Yeah, this is an addition. What I'm talking about now is if you stand here,
We're right here.
because we came through here,
Mhm.
no?
Yeah.
And we came.
See, there's a door in that living room, and there's a door here, and now we need to find a bedroom.
Okay, wait, I'm lost. Wait, I'm lost. Yeah. Can I help you? That is this area. That area is this. Is this one.
We walked in here,
Uh-huh.
and this is.
And here.
Right, so this is the foyer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this shouldn't be right, there's no wall.
There's no wall.
And there's a
Partition
bedroom.
right here.
The bedroom.
There is a bedroom there.
Bedroom
Yeah.
right there. There's a bedroom.
Yeah, but my point is, maybe in records, we have some kind of wall here after. Remember, this is
Was
from
original.
1988.
Yeah, when I did the additions, we have
Exactly,
to look if there's a permit after the fact
That could be.
for adding the partition or something.
This wall looks like it was here forever.
No, this is, no, these are.
This wall has electrical here, see?
He's right. He's right.
Maybe we have something
Yeah.
after,
And if
because
you-
this document is dated 1988.
And if you don't.
This is the original.
89, 90, 91,
And if
92.
you don't, then we'll.
Then-
we'll have-
Legalize.
No,
You can legalize whatever
Yes,
you have.
Legalize, okay.
Yeah.
As long as you get a permit and it's,
Okay, there you go. Okay.
as long as you have your permit and inspections, and it's okay, I don't see any problem why, if this was done, let's assume that this was done without approved permit, I don't see a reason why I cannot stay.
Okay, just get, okay.
So then we go
I know.
to, yeah, yeah, my big concern is this area. Right, okay, so this is the stairs, no?
Yeah, he never.
Yeah.
The stairs, behind the
Yeah,
back,
the bathroom.
right there.
Yeah, I'm walking through this area,
Uh-huh.
especially for like, so some kind of difference versus what we have here.
Just a bathroom.
From here?
Yep, just a bathroom. There's lights on the left. Lights on the left.
We are here, close here.
The bathroom behind the stairs.
Stairs? Yeah. Oh, here, here, yeah. Okay. Magical coming.
You want me to take some pictures or?
No, I think we have picture of this, I don't know.
No, I never got into this area at all.
Oh,
When I was on that side.
Oh, okay.
It was on the addition area,
Yeah.
you know, so this, all right?
We need to check again. This is more recent. Yeah. This,
Yeah, but it was,
this is the bathroom. This is more recent. Maybe we need to look because now the code is asking for if you are changing more than 2 public feature windows. So I see here 2, maybe the shower. But anyway, I can be checked.
it's got the exhaust and everything, so.
I know. Mabel, will you see the bathroom? It's nice. Very nice.
The shower?
No, I explained to him that if there are 2 plumbing fixtures that are renovated, change it.
You need a
update it,
permit.
you need a permit.
Yeah. If it's less than 2,
Yeah, you even have your own, you know, extraction vent and everything, so you comply with mechanical easily.
No, but that,
Yes.
was existing.
Right.
So the only thing maybe was updated.
Updated.
Yeah.
It's renovation, can,
yeah. Replace with a new one. On the vanity and maybe toilet.
This area is the one that got distance from what we have now.
Okay, yeah, show you this. Okay, good.
so we got an opening.
This dining.
This is like the dining room here, and this is what's called the music room.
What is called the music room.
So we are here. We're standing in the music room, family room upstairs. There was one time, it looks like over here, one time was a
wall and it was-
yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Take a shot right quick, we take a shot.
Yeah, and the city has multiple pictures of this.
Yeah.
The special master too.
Good. So let's go to.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay. So we are. So we can
Let me see something ahí for a second.
Yeah.
What music room, what was it?
We were here, we came through here.
Okay.
Let me get the keys. That will doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mabel,
I went to see just, so we're finished with this area.
we are here. That wall doesn't exist. It's now a big room.
A big room.
So,
So necesita para quitarle el structure.
no, but my point is, I assuming that this door is that door, no?
For the kitchen.
For the kitchen.
Oh, it's a hall here, which we are right now?
There is a hole in the wall that goes to the exterior, I think.
On a window here, there was a window, I'm assuming?
Sí, Sí, debo ser.
Well,
That's interior wing?
That's interior box.
This is electrical box?
Yeah, that's your permit for right now. We're changing the, what's it called? We have a local.
Yeah, but my question to you, we are here now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So.
All right, so that's what
That is what
denoted
this
as.
sign is.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
electrician that you bumped into?
No.
That we have a permit for to change out, so he had to stop work, so.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. It's just that the design that they put on the plan looked like a window.
Sí, like a
Yeah, the way that they put it here, it looks like that. So,
But
Mabel, there is a different here.
layout.
Yeah.
exit.
So, going through here, we are here. So it's supposed to be some kind of space. And it's not because
There's a door, there's a door.
Exit. All right. So you got your exit.
same that we have. It's the other way around. We got, yeah, the shower. What is the shower now? Is on this side. Maybe the, I don't know, what something was.
Looks like the shower's supposed to be over here.
Yeah.
Espérate,
on the
se pasa nada.
scene.
No, pero being there, so you're here.
There's the old sink right there.
Yeah, and, well, that wall is just a door. Some modification happened here. Some modification happened here.
And you got your bathtub right here in this location.
Yeah.
So this was moved out more this way,
No, but, yeah.
and then it was a
So
bathtub.
originally we have like 3 different corridors here. No?
Yeah, there's other ones on the other side.
Yeah.
And the sink in there.
So we have,
I think we have one here.
what about this?
It's on the other side.
Oh, okay. That's my confusion. Okay. So, Mabel, we need to legalize these areas because it's not the same layout at all.
Let me take a picture.
Yeah, we have this. And here is, that's the problem. So legalize this area. Because as you see, it's totally different from what we have. Okay? So just legalize this area. Let me see this too. How do you get to this too?
So basically you'll be legalizing this area, including the opening.
Exactly, because now there's no wall, it's just a door, a big area here. The location, maybe the sink, the toilet is in this side, but the sink is on that side, you see? And this is there, no problem.
This is eliminated here.
But this doesn't exist.
So there should be a
On the
wall
front.
over here. We just go back, we will wall over here, and this should be closed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
So all you need to do is just make a drawing of this area. In your permit, you're gonna signalize, we do this area with the actual layout.
Right.
You can take this document as reference.
That's
And it
right.
starts right here. This is where it starts.
Yeah.
All this was configured.
But remember that where he's standing now,
It's right here.
it is a door, not a corridor,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, okay, so,
Okay. Hey, again, we want to finish the whole circle. We're done with this, with the existing. Where were we? So we go through the kitchen. We got
do you wanna go where?
the kitchen area. We finish the kitchen and we finish with this whole area
So
here.
this way here, come, this way.
No, there was a kitchen here.
Yeah, there's a kitchen here, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See, from here to here.
Ah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about, go back to this.
Right, and then we go back
before-
to the entrance.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
You wanna go?
So then we go
Yeah.
to the addition. Yeah.
It doesn't look like this is a door that's supposed to be this one.
Yeah.
And then the kitchen.
Right.
So you have the kitchen over there? Okay.
Yeah, because if we keep going, then we have to come back over here. When it's going to finish it.
No.
Okay, fine.
Everyone just sit down.
So this is outside.
Okay, Mabel, we are now in this area, and you have like a closet
closet.
here with washer and dryer. Put it in your plans too. Okay? Do you have a pencil or something like that? Yeah, because that way.
This is my check signing.
Let me see.
So,
So the bathroom,
Pantry,
Yeah.
wash and
the
dryer.
entry
The
here,
gas.
this economical cloud.
And then
the kitchen,
the window.
The area where we configured, and here,
the closet.
it's not a closet, I think it's a washer and dryer.
Yeah, because you got your gas connection and everything, you know, so.
So that's the thing that you need to realize. The gas installation, the electrical,
The gas,
conduit.
the gas,
Yeah,
if you look
like
at
that.
I think there was a stove there before. The stove is gas. Yeah.
Could be, you know, so old,
That could be.
but maybe
I don't have
after,
it here.
it's not in, it's
So,
after.
even if it wasn't a stove, that was supposed not to be there.
Right.
Anyway,
Okay.
we have a section, okay? Yeah, here's the dining room. Perfect. And the closet. That's it. Perfect. Okay. So this is.
This will be the kitchen area.
Can I introduce somebody to
Nice, I tell you what, yeah.
Not me, I don't sit here, I don't look at it.
Dining room.
Very nice. Okay.
Ah, we'll go back,
So,
we'll
yeah,
go back there.
yeah, let's go back to the other side because this is.
Through here is easier. Through here.
Oh, so, okay. So we're talking about two areas.
I don't even see something again.
Anyway, I can give you a copy of this, or I can give you this if you want.
This way, so this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is Robert, good friend.
Deberíamos ver el
He gets to know
closet.
this, he's one of good friend.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
So we are now,
Deberíamos ver el closet porque we change to AC closet. Sí.
no, this is the one.
Right here, come to this,
We are here. This area.
right, to this area. That's, if you want to.
And
You can pull the wall back or?
No, remember, we are not telling you demolish,
renovate.
we are telling
It's
you
just to show
to
us
legalize.
the
To legalize, okay.
To legalize, not demolish.
Okay.
Unless there is something that
That is
cannot be
unsafe.
authorized, and
Right.
at that moment, okay, you have to
Okay.
do something. But at this moment, we are looking through the difference that we have
Okay.
in order to legalize the building,
Okay, very good.
okay?
you see, we got two windows, structure in the middle.
So window structure and that area,
Those are those.
the access is through
Back in
that
the
door.
days.
What?
Back in the days, yeah.
No, last year,
BR.
last year, all the windows were put in with permit, last year.
B12, oh, okay.
B19.
Oh, BR.
BR19.
Oh, BR19.
BR19.
That's
That looks like a 12, that's why I was looking.
That's why we contacted you, because we've got a violation for putting in new windows, so all these, this
Well,
is-
that was
No, last year.
2 years.
No,
Yeah,
last year,
2 years.
Hey, hey, hey.
Okay.
That's yours. Do you have a copy machine by any chance?
No, do I take this?
No, no. It's not for that. We can our records.
Oh,
It's for me to make a coffee, keep one and give it one.
Okay.
I'll take a picture.
I'll take a picture.
I'll take a picture and everything.
So this is where, I think this is where you came in from, right?
Yeah, right there, I was right there. You're coming through there. There you go.
Like a kitchenette, something like that.
Coffee shop.
Coffee station. That's the exit.
Yeah.
That's the exterior.
Yeah.
This is the bare bones.
And that's,
This is a disaster. It's supposed to.
See, this is configured.
I looked at the plans, it's,
it was reconfigured.
it's not, we would have done all this out, put it back to storage.
Okay, so listen, he's telling me that it was the only again, I'm telling you, you need the bathroom, you can legalize it, keep it. If
you turn this AC on, you're gonna get all that heat from the back inside the space people living in.
It's disconnected.
Throw it to outside air, you know?
What? No, it's disconnected.
Oh.
All the only had we disconnected it. It doesn't even work.
Okay. All right, heads up, you know? If you got people here, they'll be getting all heated. That's why you have the vent outside. That's some ingenious thing.
Then that's because the sink is so bad sometimes. It's so old. Look at this. I think this is put in 1982 or 83. So if you tell us we have to demo it, we'll be blessed.
No. It's what it says in the plan. You have to go back and research
If
it.
they decided to keep it as storage, then Nico permit, we're gonna ask to remove all that
remove it and just keep
keep
it
saying this
as
as a storage.
Make a decision.
Yes.
Yeah,
With
yeah, it's
Bernardo.
up to you.
Yeah, he's gonna have to tell you about
Yeah.
that.
And there is a small difference in this area because I don't see that
The bathroom should be right, door should be right there.
exactly.
Yeah.
You see those connections there, electrical connections? This area, Berto, is where we are now.
Yeah.
This is the closest that will convert it to a bathroom.
Yeah, the more.
And this area doesn't match with what we have.
No, they built a wall here, and they added
Yeah.
a kitchenette, open it from here, demolish it,
So,
and the
take care
door
of
this
this
one.
area. Take care of this area, okay? And let me see,
Yeah, right.
because now we're going
So
through
the
this.
configuration here changed.
Yeah, you know, partitions, being closed off.
Hay un circulito ahí.
So, switch. So it's supposed to be two. This is the second. That is the second. Omega. From here to here, it changed. This is this. So, from here to there, we have this area and the two points. Second.
No, thank you.
There. Okay. This is this.
Yes.
This is this. Then we talk about another one. It's not there anymore. What we feel or something like
Let me get 2%.
Dale más.
that? There is a shower. There is a shower.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, Mabel, you got because
Here,
that is no longer there. But this one is. And that shower doesn't show anywhere here.
Hey, but these lights are new though, right? I don't think I saw them when I was here. These lights are new.
No.
I don't think I saw them when I was here. Yeah, well, I have the older pictures. And all this Romex, I remember.
They're very old. Yeah. That is look at our power too.
yeah, that's not too much.
Okay. So include this area. So the shower is now.
Yeah, the shower is not there.
So technically there were changes in this area that are not familiar. Okay?
Shower, then what happens to this one here? Here close.
Yeah. Could be. In the plan you can put the field, the video, whatever you want to put. And
It's wood, right?
the wood,
Yeah, okay.
it could be decorated with wood.
Yeah, that could be.
You gotta be careful what's inside there.
Yeah, you see the show.
Because marine, I think it's marine wood. I don't know, maybe there's a pool.
Just be like, I'm saying that the shower there,
You want to make it a deck, whatever.
the shower is
You want to make it a deck, what it is right now, you know, you can legalize it. You know?
And I think, I'm pretty sure, if I were the owner, I will get an electrician with permits to get all this.
So let me tell you what, he's here, when you were here, the lady was here, this is all romance. And she said, all has to be changed, the piping.
No. When I was here, the lady, what she said is that she's here for a service call on the pump for the jacuzzi or for the water feature.
So the guy
And
was
she didn't want to run it on because there was no water. Can't run it dry, you know.
It looks to me, it's wrong, it's not because it's wrong. It's because it's not done as per the rule. No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking, just by looking at this area. Already told to change. This space is full of meat. Really, yes, sure. So you gotta be careful with the kind of electrical connections and lamps you install here, because that can become a hazard.
Yeah.
Okay? Especially with people taking bath here, shower, and things like that. It's supposed to be here, but the electrician's supposed to be here. I don't know what it is. But I already told them to get all this has to come out. Well,
No.
she told me she's gonna put it on the plans. So at this moment, we will need to have electrical, building, and plumbing. So that was my concern, because after what I saw from the pictures,
I'm sorry?
blessing that you came, because I've been telling everybody, I'm in construction, not in Miami Beach. I said, this is no good, you need to fix it. People are cheap, you know? I know, I understand. Now we have to do it, so now it's gonna get done. Think about what I'm telling you right now. If somebody's taking a shower or bath and it's totally wet, and some kind of incident, power incident happened,
Yeah, jeopardizing somebody's life, you know.
it's the first thing. So here's the question. If the electrician comes and wants to take out a permit to do this, he's not going to file because of the violation, is he? Or just put the violation number? Yes. Yes. This is the first thing you're going to do. Yes, because the violation was created already.
Yes, correct.
So whatever permit you're going to pull, you're going to create the violation, and once that is finished, we close it. Okay? Thank you so, guys. Thank you so much. So basically, configurations was done in this area. So this is the area that you need to focus your training. Okay?
Okay.
And in here was a new partition,
Yeah.
space, also.
In general.
If it has
these are
electrical.
Minor, no, these are minor. I was telling him, my concern is in this area, which is high
safety,
humidity area.
Yes.
The way they install the electrical
Yeah.
connections and lights.
Yeah, that's
fixtures.
very unsafe.
So, it's a hazard.
That can be put in two people.
They put what? No, he's saying the fixtures have to be legal for a moisture zone. These are outdoor, they're outdoor lights. They're outdoor lights in England. But he's saying it's right also, there's also a Rolex wire, so it's all thing. He has to take out a permit, he has to take out a permit, do the code, that's it.
Right.
We just need to make sure it's done as per the code.
Yeah.
Because what I said to him, if you have a person in there wet, totally wet, and there is some kind of hazard happen to the way the electrical is done, and that person gets shot, you got it wrong.
Major problem.
You think? That's our point. Okay?
You have to just buy the enclosed pictures, the special pictures for those.
There are, in order to get power to this area, there are certain requirements in the code that you need to comply with. Type of light fixture, type of cable to use, things like that. But I'm not an electrician.
Yeah,
I cannot tell you exactly what it is.
Electrical contractor, speak with them, you know.
Well,
And from there, give a recommendation.
that's it. No more questions for me. This is like a second floor.
I don't know.
See, on second floor, but we don't have the plans here. Yeah, we don't have the plans here for the second floor, so we're not gonna go up there. Because there's nothing to compare. But if you have any kind of change done up there, this is the moment to legalize.
Yeah.
We spoke to
Yeah.
that, we spoke
When
to-
you do a permit.
we spoke to that earlier, okay? So in his drawing, in her drawing, sorry, she can show where the changes are done to legalize it and how the second floor is. and you're gonna die. That floor plan is records. Good, okay, very good. To make sure with the city that everything was done.
Right.
Without any problem. The little gentleman. Well, sorry.
Thank you.
I get my vaccine.
Well, I have to thank you, I have to thank
So-
you. Thank you for busting in the door.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
You did a great job. Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Hey,
We do the front is locked up, it goes out to the side right here.
You can go this side if you want, whatever you want. So, I've never done this on my beach, so we'll do the, we'll just.
Te voy a decir,
Yes.
aquí luego,
Yes.
luego.
yes. You see that? This is not true.
That's it,
You
that's
got
the
the proper.
That's the air conditioner.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the AC, but look at this.
A ver, flaco, cuidado.
Yeah.
Look at this. The way it was done.
Adrián, let me see.
Just enclose it.
There you go.
That's for the compressor right out there, no?
Yeah.
Entonces así supuestamente. Where is the door here? It's not shown here.
No, it's not a door.
It's not shown.
Okay,
Mabel, please legalize this.
and the bedroom cuts it off right here.
For the AC.
It's supposed to be
Right
somewhere here.
So,
Okay?
Bernardo has to tell you about this.
I mean, let me take the dimension of the door, more or less. Let me take a picture.
Okay, you want me to get out?
Yeah. A better view. Ahí está. All right. Aquí for the addition back there, you see? You can tell.
So the original house is 1922.
And then they did an addition to the existing house. This is existing house, see? And then they added, all this was added later on. This is a platform addition. De aquí para allá es adición. Y esto the existing house, like this existing house. You get that cut off right here. Aquí arriba. Let me close the door.
What I'm telling you is that the door, this door.
No, it's not there. Of course. Ahí lo veo. Ajá. Hay una salida y tengo que curar el slope de la rampa y todo, ¿eh?
See, I don't think it's gonna be a good option.
I'm telling you, you want to keep that door. That ramp needs to be removed.
I tell you. That's an American Standard. So two different. Two different ACs. I mean, Goodman and American Standard. Allegiance, the American Standard brand, the sub brand. So, cargo, you know, maybe you can find the way it's been erased, you know, but you can find it back here. Allegiance 4. It's in sub brand, the American Standard. En cuyo caso, just in case you don't find it.
What's that?
No, maybe that was done. No, it's working or not working. I don't know, but it, you know, it may require a permit because the original date there is 2003. You see?
Right.
So I think you know all this. We have to research all this. Go back in the records.
Maybe for that, you see the way that is installed?
Yeah, that might be.
Looks to me that that was done with permit because the way
Strapped.
it was done complies with the code. Right. This is a change out. I don't know if having an AC change out, they are going to enforce the actual code. If that is the case, then it is even time to get a little tighter because of the flooding. Right. So by the way, this area is terrible. What?
The floods, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Mabel, do you want to keep this for you?
Yeah.
Well, let me take a picture.
Take a picture to get it to the...
Yeah, so we have a copy.
That's it. So when you prepare your documents, mention everything that we have
Right.
talked about. Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
And if you need extension, send me.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
remember,
gonna
we
send
have
it to
thousands of cases.
See.
And this one,
When do the extension expire?
I don't know. Now I don't
We
know.
have to go back and see the
Yeah.
computer.
I'm gonna let you know when I get back to you.
No, because I was just informed about the violation, but not given an actual copy, so I don't know.
You didn't give a copy?
No,
So
so I don't know the actual expiration,
So
but
you-
that's fine, I'll request an extension.
you can request an extension, because like I said before, I have thousands of cases. When these show up
Of
without it,
course.
I send a reg tag and everybody's gonna pick up,
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
okay?
I agree with that.
If you see a one reg tag that is saying 30 days to comply, call the person that is in the reg tag to give an update.
There's an email on the bottom right-hand side.
On the reg tag.
Shoot it by email, and then go from there.
Okay? Well, thank you very much for everything. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot. Yeah?
You know, breathe. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Good for you.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Keep your guys close.
Bye.
Bye.
Nada, vamos a ir la ruta a...
Thank you, Your Honor, for letting us play the entire video. Mr. Martinez,
Yes. Yes.
same questions, similar questions that I asked you before. This video that we've just seen, the second video, well, the third video today, but the second of your inspection, that was made in the ordinary course of business by you as an inspector for the city of Miami Beach.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct, Mr.
Okay. Now, the gentleman that was in the blue shirt that was doing most of the narrating and pointing to the floor plans, who was that gentleman?
That was my previous supervisor, Mr. Avalos, my previous chief. He was the chief building code officer.
Okay, and he was looking at original floor plans from the 80s, is that correct?
Let me retrace. They are original to that day, but they're not the originals. The property was built originally by the building card, which we have a copy of, and that was an addition that they added to the property in 1988.
And the purpose of your inspection and Mr. Avalos's inspection, was that to ensure compliance with the Florida Building Code?
Correct. Any discrepancies or anything that was going on in there for safety of the individuals, that is the code, and catch any other violations that, they're violating life safety issues and whatnot.
And I believe at the end of the video, while everyone was outside in the side yard there on 34th Street, Mr. Avalos had stated that if these violations were not closed or legalized or addressed, that there would be a red tag issued and the building closed. Is that correct?
Yeah, it could lead to that and to clear unsafe by the Unsafe Structures Board in the county.
Okay, so now let's walk through this video a little bit, starting with the entry into the foyer, and I believe it was observed that there were some ceiling lights that were leaking. Is that correct?
There was a water intrusion on the entrance foyer there, and what it was explained to the gentleman and the contractor who was there, or the guy who was there, that if it's a minor repair, they wouldn't require a permit. And being a single family, they repair a portion of the roof, they're allowed to do so.
But that was something that you and both Mr. Avalos observed as
we got in, yes.
as an issue or a potential issue.
Yes, it could lead to a bigger issue. It starts damaging the joists and create crumbling or whatnot. Yeah.
Okay, and then as the group entered into the foyer of the house, there was an issue with a wall I believe, that separated the hallway from the living room. Is that correct?
Correct. I wouldn't, I have to get a copy of the plans. Do we have here? Hold on a second, Steve. Let me get a copy of the plans.
No, it's just, and this is just something that I believe Mr. Brescher had even indicated. The fact that the wall's not, that the wall is there, it just has to be legalized. There was no structural issue with that wall. Is that correct?
Yeah, it wouldn't be treated as a low-bearing wall, but I want to see the plan if it reflected that wall. If it doesn't, the plan didn't reflect the wall, then they have to bring it to code because it's a new partition that is separating specified.
But this is the direction that you and Mr. Avalos gave to
Yes.
the property owner and to the contractor.
Yes.
To look at this particular wall and determine whether or not it was legal with the appropriate electrical connections in the wall.
Correct.
If it was not done with a permit, then all that needed to be done was to legalize the wall with a permit.
Correct. And what we did say, if you look at the video, was that there may have been further permits after 1988 to legalize the wall there. However, we didn't find anything, so this is the latest that we have in our records.
And as of today, is there any permit to, or have you found any prior permit to legalize this wall or to construct the wall?
Issued? No.
No. So this wall would need to be addressed in the scope of your violation.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It will have to be addressed.
Moving along, we went to a bathroom that was in a hallway under a staircase, it appeared, and it appeared to be newly renovated. Is that correct?
Correct.
And would that be part of the scope of this particular violation, to legalize the bathroom that I'll call under the staircase?
Correct.
And did your...
not legalize, I'm sorry, I retract it, to renovate, because the bathroom was already existing, but they have to bring it to the code of the renovation they did, such as the shower and so forth.
Okay. Did your investigation reveal whether or not that shower was original or that was added in afterwards?
Our investigation revealed that bath area, not the shower is a new renovation, but the bath area was existing. That space was used as a bath.
But the shower has the connections for the plumbing
no.
checked?
Yeah, there was no permit pool for that.
There was no permit for the shower in that bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move to the next area in the video. You call it a jacuzzi, but for the purposes of my question, it's going to be the men's Vigva room. There was some discussion at length about modification to this area, and this area needed to be legalized. Is that correct?
Correct.
And to the best of your knowledge, as you went through the city's records, was there any prior permits to your visit to modify this wet area, for lack of a better word?
No, there was no permit to modify that area from the plans we have from '88.
So in order for that area to remain in the house, it would have to be legalized like the other areas that we've spoken about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we looked at, in that corridor, a washer and dryer with a connection in there. And there was discussion about gas and electrical connections.
Yes.
Was that washer and dryer installed with approved permits?
No, it wasn't.
So that would also be part of the scope of this violation, that the washer and dryer connections would need to be checked, verified, and then final inspection. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then as we proceeded through the main room there, we went to an area that had a storage area at one particular point. Is that correct?
Hold on, Stephen. It's a storage area. You mean the dining room?
That's currently a bathroom. Is that correct?
Well, after the kitchen, you mean?
Yes.
After the kitchen, we went into the dining room.
Yeah, but there was no concern.
That was existing.
I'm just focusing you now to the areas that are in this violation.
The music room, you mean?
Past the music room, we walked into
family
the area where you initially had gone on your first visit.
Where I first went in my first visit?
Yes.
That's a complete different area at the end
I
of the
know,
video.
that's the area I'm addressing with you now.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so I want to walk you through the big room. I want to take you to the area where you came in the first time, and there's a bathroom there where in the first video a gentleman was exiting, but you opened the bathroom door here and there was a urinal and a toilet in there.
Yes.
Was that done with approved permits?
No, sir, it doesn't reflect it here in the plans.
And in fact, the original plans that you were looking at had it as a storage area, is that correct?
Storage with a different layout completely.
Okay, and one of the options for the property owner, I believe Mr. Avalos testified in the video, was you can legalize it, you don't necessarily have to demolish that, is that correct?
Correct. You could either legalize it will be to bring it to code, or either way it has to be brought to code or remove it, one of the two.
Okay, but
Be
that was a
legalized.
concern, again, for mechanical, structural, plumbing, electrical, all of those trades would need to sign off on this area if
Yes.
it were in fact to be legalized.
Correct.
Okay,
No, and even demo it themselves, because the connections themselves are already done, so it needs to be properly demolished if it's going to be demo. If that's
Okay.
what the gentleman wants to do.
but that was the option that was provided to Mr. Brescher and explained to him.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You could either legalize by conforming it to the current code, or you could demolish that area, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then we go through the corridor and we go into to another wet area.
But Stephen, I don't. Maybe if it's going to be demolished, it still needs to be compliant with the building code.
Understandable,
Okay.
but the options to the property owner are either to legalize what's there or to demolish it with the appropriate permits.
Correct. There you go. Yes.
Okay. Now let's continue on into the next wet area, which was the original area that you had inspected on your earlier video, where there was a contractor inside working and doing some work.
Yes.
There was no water in the area, but now it was full. Was that
Yes.
correct?
Yes. That was my main concern really on the first visit, trying to get in contact with the plumbing contractor or with the guy who was there doing the work to see if the water was restored to the property fully or not.
Okay, so now in that area, there was a shower, and was that a concern to Mr. Avalos and yourself?
Yes.
And what was that concern?
Well, in the plans ourselves, it doesn't reflect a shower there at all. And then the other bathtub, there was a bathtub in that area. And then there's a deck that is covered. It says men's traffic or something. It's unlegible, but it doesn't cover the scope of work that they did there, because now it's a deck.
So again, this is a life safety issue, and
Yes.
I know you refer to it as a jacuzzi, but I'm going to refer to it as the female mikveh, okay?
Okay.
And in that
Sorry,
area,
say that again, you're going to refer as what?
the female mikveh, M-I-G-V-A-H. And I'm going to, again, refer your attention to that area, and there were certain life safety codes that Mr. Avalos pointed out as far as the use of cables, electrical concerns, that this was a moisture zone. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And depending upon whether this is, well, are there different standards for residential or commercial cables and lighting in wet areas?
Yeah, well, that would be a question really for the electrical contractor, electrical reviewer, once they submit the permits for such. But the way they were installed on top of the VITSA area, what was it called? They could have created safety issues if you don't know how they were installed, so it could fall and electrocute somebody. So there's safety issues that need to protocol.
And in fact, Mr. Avalos indicated that this could be a very serious concern if
Yes.
somebody is in the water and those electrical cables fall into the water, that it could possibly result in a fatality. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Avalos was equally concerned with the proper lighting and the cables in there.
Yes.
And in fact, I believe you noted or were concerned about the use of lighting in this area, which was inconsistent with what your memory was of the earlier visit.
Yes, in the previous visit, they did show the lighting there. We did documented it, but there was a new light that was running on top of the VITSA, the space,
If you
the
want to
bathtub,
call it a jacuzzi, that's okay.
the jacuzzi area.
That's
and,
easier for you.
It's right on top of it, and we don't know if it creates a safety issue to it. So that's why we did point it out in the video. Hey, when I came here initially, that wasn't there. So technically, they continue the work. No, we're not. And to be clear, the electrical contractor that was there for a service call, not to install those lights. So it was the initial visit.
And then,
So the lights were installed from sometime between the prior visit that you made to the property to this one?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I'm just saying, so they don't put it on the electrical contractor that was there. They were already there, but then there was some installations afterwards.
Those lights would have required a permit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You checked and there was no permit?
There was no permits at all.
And again, as far as this area, permits would have to be applied for and approved, and the work inspected for this to be legalized. Is that correct?
Correct, finalize, in order to close our case.
Okay, and then the parties exited the house and went to look at the air conditioning units that were outside. What was your concern with the air conditioning units?
That they were not installed with permits. There was no tie downs or whatnot. And as a matter of fact, and I believe it was in the music room, there was now a new door opening, which was the new addition when this plan's called for. And there was a closet space built for the air handling unit. It didn't have proper clearance or whatnot for somebody trying to get out to the property there.
And that was the door that the parties were looking at before you had exited out to check the air conditioning units. That was inside.
Yes, that was before.
And that was through one door before you exited. There was a door that didn't have the appropriate clearance for the water handler, for the whatever was in mechanical.
Air handler unit, yeah.
Was that the one that you opened like a couple of inches and then took a picture inside?
Yeah, it was.
You couldn't open it more?
You couldn't, well, from the carpet that was there, the thing that was there, you couldn't open it more. But it's treated as an exit space. You see there was a ramp leading out. Somebody trying to get out of the family/music room because there's no longer a partition. It was demolished. They made it into one single assembly space. They added a door. Somebody added a door previous owner, who knows, and they made it an exit. So this partition in the middle here combined the family room and the music room all together. And then they added a closet space to install the air handler unit.
Yeah, so Your Honor, and even if you did, there's the proper clearance for an exit door there.
Correct. You have to,
And those were areas of concern that were pointed out to Mabel, the contractor, at the time. From what I understand, the contractor has changed, but the contractor was placed on notice that this was an area of concern to the building department. Is that correct?
we did have it. It's an exit, you treat it as an exit for that space. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go outside with the air conditioning handlers. So you mentioned that there are issues with the installation outside. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe I said there was no tie downs, or they can easily fly away. So it all ties into the installation, to legalization of the air conditioners.
And is that something that can be remedied?
Yeah.
And how would one go about remedying the air conditioning issues?
They will go ahead and hire a mechanical contractor and create the cabinet, the closet space for the air handler, and a mechanical compressor outside, and bringing it to code, pass the inspections, and go forward in there.
Okay. And does the video, actually all three videos, the posting, your initial inspection, and your subsequent inspection on February 25th, 2021, all accurately reflect the conditions that you observed on each and every date?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any questions?
Just want to dispute one thing. If you take a look at the video, the light was on the men's mikvah jacuzzi was there. I saw it on the video when you went in there. It could be just a mistake on your part. Okay. But Mr. Avalos told us to remove that because it could be dangerous. And the next day that light was removed. It's not there anymore. I could more than happily send you a picture of that.
Yeah, but this is what I want to be very clear on. If you're going to remove those lights, whether they were illegally done or not, you still require an electrical cap-off permit to make sure it's probably done to code. We're not going to say, oh, you go ahead and remove it, that's it.
Understood.
Make sure we got an electrical contractor, an electrical inspector out there, and do a fully inspection on it. So for that, we do need the
Absolutely.
electrical liability workman's insurance and all that.
So we've taken out, we have already, the plans have already been submitted to the city of every single, I appreciate the video actually, I'd never seen it before. All of Mr. Avalos' directives and Mr. Martinez's directives, every single issue is noted on those plans that was submitted to the city. The last submission was done 3 weeks ago. The last revision sent by the city was which I showed Mr. Martinez, was not even on the downstairs. The downstairs is already fully passed. It's on the upstairs, which we're going to incorporate into the home for wired smoke detectors. That's the only thing that's missing from that's the only revision that the city has requested before, has requested of the plans that we have submitted. I just want to add that Mr. Avalos did say, I think 5 or 6 times, that you can legalize all of these revisions. In other words, that you can legalize. Every one of it, that you can legalize the work that was done for the prior owner, and that is what we have submitted to the city, was everything to code, to current code. I believe the last revision sent by the city electric is a new code for having hot wire on the smoke detectors, but everything has already been submitted to the city. I just want to note that Mr. Martinez did say the issue that code enforcement has not seen those plans, because when the permit was filled out by our contractor, it did not detail every single one of the directives that Mr. Avalos gave. So we're going to go back today, and I'm going to have the contractor speak to Mr. Martinez and detail every one of those directives. But I can, I did tell Mr. Martinez that I'd be more than happy to send a copy of the plans, and if there's something that we have missed, then we will incorporate them into the plans.
But can I stop you for a second, just for a second? This is the issue we have, okay? The permit you submitted, BR 2105703, that's applied. The description in that permit is demo/remodel of selective bathrooms, and relocation of air handling unit. There's clearly way more scope of work in that. Like you said, we have not seen the plans in enforcement section because it's still applied, so we don't have a copy of those plans.
Correct, and I agree with everything you just said, so that the permit has to be reapplied or revised to all of the directives that you had with all the details, with better details and all the details of anything. And by the way, we're going to do some additional remodeling while we're at it, while the permits are open. So I will make sure that the permit is more detailed and to correct. I mean, we do have a new contractor. I will have her do that, to speak to you today if that's possible, and have all those details clearly delineated so that you're comfortable that we have followed all the directives of yourself and Mr. Avalos preceding you.
Yeah, that's what we're, pretty much required, so you move forward. Because it doesn't help you legalizing one part, and then you have another one.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
No, everything that, I was standing there at the meeting, and we've taken every single one of Mr. Avalos' directives, and taken every one of them seriously, and we've incorporated them all into the plans to either legalize or demolish. In fact, that urinal storage, it looks that you can see that's from 1988, and I don't know how someone did that, or why someone did that, but that's going to be restored back to storage because it's just we found it to be disgusting anyway. So
I think it's interesting to note that I've never seen a urinal in a private home.
Exactly. So we're not going to legalize it. You can see the plans. We're not legalizing it. We're not legalizing it.
All right.
Well, the city would seek, in this particular matter, a compliance state, and in the event of non-compliance, there should be a daily fine in accordance with Chapter 162.
Which is fine. And given that there is already a plan submitted that needs to have some changes, I want to hear from the city first and then from you, what would be a reasonable length of time to actually, and we're talking about finishing everything, right?
Well, it's first to get the permit, and Mr. Alvarez is now taking over Mr. Avalos's role, so
Yes.
he can certainly chime in. But it would be to obtain the permit, and then obviously you have the life of the permit
Well,
with inspections.
let's break it down. I want to first have a deadline to obtain the permit, and then we'll address, we might have to have another hearing to see how things are going, and then come up with a compliance date. But at this point, I want to set a date for the approval of the plans.
Right. Knowing that there are things that
Ibrahim, just for the record, state your name.
Ibrahim Alvarez, Chief Violations Inspector. We know that there are things that they're going to have to revise and put into that description. The permit right now is in applied status. So if revisions have to be submitted, I would say at least 90 days.
90 days, is it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
But is
That's
that,
more than reasonable. I think we'll get done. We were hoping that everything would be approved before we came here before the special master, so.
all right, so 90 days to get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
plans
Give
approved?
you-
Yes, Mr. Martinez. go
What were
ahead.
you saying? I'm sorry, I was trying to hear the order.
Yeah, the order is that, and I need to know when 90 days is. Let
Wait,
me,
hold on. I thought this,
It's 90 days
I
to
didn't
have the
think this
permit
was gonna
opened
be
and
the same
ready
issue.
to, yeah. that's
I have an
more than
approved
reasonable.
permit in 90 days.
That's more than reasonable. Thank you.
okay. I think we can figure it out. It shouldn't be that difficult.
on or around,
Let me see here. Here we are on the last day of January, and February is a short month. So we're looking at 28 March, so 90 days. Let's say that it be April 29th is a Friday, okay? By April 29th. And if it's not obtained by April 29th, I will impose a daily fine of $300 per day.
Very good.
And then, Your Honor, do you want us to come back for a compliance date, or should we follow up 180 days from the issuance of the permit? Because unfortunately, and nothing about this particular property owner, some people
what I'll do-
obtain permits and then no work commences. So
Right.
if Your Honor wants, I think probably, 45 or 60 days after that date to have a progress report to see if in fact
fine.
that the permit has been, that there's been work at least started on the permits.
The inspectors have been called.
That's fine.
Okay,
Well, let's see, Cindy, what do I have in
What the-
end of May or early June where I'm going to be?
well, you're not scheduled for either May hearings,
Okay, what about
but
June?
you have June 9th is your date.
June 9th, then, the order should reflect that we will have a progress report on June 9th. Okay? Anything else on this particular file?
no, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay?
We have one more for the building, which is the garage.
Yes, and let's take
Yeah,
a 10-minute break.
Sure.
I had imagined that the permit was going to be issued before we walked in here, because that's what it looked like. I thought the permit would be issued the Thursday. We were hoping that the permit would be issued this past Thursday.
Well,
So anytime of compliance would be appreciated, but I think we're ready to go on that one.
Well, again, you have 90 days to get the plan.
Okay, fine.
And once you have, if you are in compliance before the June 9th date, then we'll...
For both?
Yeah,
Yeah, fine, that's
Okay.
clear.
so let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll take the next one.
Keep
Thank
in
you.
mind,
Lana,
Thank you.
before you take a
whatever
break,
was gonna
this,
be approved
just to
last Thursday
clarify, this
was
is
not
to obtain an
what needs to
approved
be,
permit.
in the new
Yes.
regulation,
Yes.
there should be things added.
That would be the 90
Whatever was
days.
gonna approve then,
What's that?
That would be the 90 days.
Yes,
So
okay, I
that
just
would
wanted
be,
to double
well,
check.
I came up with April 29th. It might be plus or minus, but that, April 29th,
Okay,
all right?
Yeah.
And then a progress report
the permit.
it's on June
on
9th.
June 9th.
And that's your day.
Yes.
Okay, do you want me to just
the
have
garage
that day
is what we're talking
specifically
about.
for this?
No.
In the
Or
new
just
permit.
go
No, a
on
progress
this?
report should not take that long.
Okay,
We'll just add it to the calendar.
okay.
Second, on the second case, would that be a compliance?
No, we haven't done it yet. We're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break and then we'll be, okay? All right,
Thank you all.
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
count the days while I'm here. Okay, so, okay, it's SMB 21-01305 for 3401 Prairie Avenue. It's in the building violation.
Okay, 01305, I have the file here. Okay. CD may proceed when ready.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good
Hey,
morning.
my name is Ibrahim Alvarez. I'm acting violation chief. This particular case was a demo collapse that we responded to, and obviously once we got there, we observed that it was a structure where somebody was living in. So at that time, a stop work order was, not a stop work order, but a vacate order was issued to the property until repairs could be made. I see now there is an applied permit in the system for demo of illegal apartment build-out space to be used as a storage. So they're trying to convert it back to a storage, which wouldn't be an issue with us, but again, that's still an applied status.
Okay, so at this point, no one is living in that property. Well, I guess somebody mentioned that the roof caved in or something?
Right. We were there eventually because the roof had caved in, had some water damage.
Okay.
And those were in that last case, if you recall the video, when I asked Mr. Martinez, that detached structure there with the top on it, that was the area of concern where there was the water intrusion and the collapse.
Okay. So at this point, there is a permit in applied status?
Yes.
Okay. And this permit, if granted, would allow the owner to make this area a storage space, with a
Storage
new
facility.
roof, et cetera.
Right, and it's a detached structure from the main house.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you want to say? Put your name on the record again because it's a new file, please.
My name is Barry Brescher, B-R-E-C-H-E-R. I reside at 930 West 47th Court, Miami Beach, Florida. I'm a managing member of 3401 Prairie Avenue.
Okay. Anything that you want to say? You know that is in applied status. Then you don't have any questions,
None.
Mr. Alvarez? Okay.
As long as we know there's a vacate order, nobody should be there until.
There's nobody living there. It's been boarded up. Yeah, nobody's living there.
Now, let me go back to Mr. Alvarez. What would be a reasonable amount of time to, and I guess we should break it down into getting the permit approved and then getting it done as well?
Well, since it's vacant and abandoned, I don't think so. The problem was that it was the prior case that you heard does have life safety issues with people coming and going.
Okay.
This, although I've spoken to Mr. Brescher during the break, and I believe they're still waiting for the actual writ of possession from the court, but the occupant is no longer there.
It's not according to our attorney, it's not an issue because it's been abandoned more than 90 days. So that's not an issue. As I said previously, we were hoping that the permit would be issued before I walked in here today, but we're at the point right now, there are no further revisions that were sent in or by the city other than the color of the roof. So we're hoping that any day that permit should be
How long do
issued.
you think it would take, once you have the permit, to finish this?
I think we'd be done in 60 days.
So if I give you 90 days,
That's more than fair.
That's
In
for
this
full
case, that's
compliance?
more than generous because there's no revisions to be had. I mean, everything we need is there. It's just a matter of our reviewers.
okay, so 90 days, and by the way, 90 days you told me was what, May what?
Do you want to change it to the other one?
No, no, no.
90 days is May 4th.
May 4th. So in this one, we're going to make it exactly 90 days, which is May 4th. And after that, if it's not in compliance, I would impose a daily fine of $100.
You're specifically on this order for full compliance. How do you want me to, what do they have to obtain for full compliance?
Final inspection.
Final inspection? Okay.
You're welcome.
On the roof, right?
Well, this
For
is
the roof?
No, it's for the entire structure.
structure. This is going to become a storage space. Okay? Anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you for your time today.
Okay, Mr. Bretcher, I will come up with some dates this week that I will make sure we pass it on to your attorney.
Yeah, well,
And I'll set aside a whole day for that too. So if you want to bring your videos and everything you have, I'll be here the whole day. I'll bring my lunch and we'll have a good time. So, but I just want you to be assured that I want you to have the time to defend yourself and the proper person to help you, your attorney. So
very good.
once we do that, then we'll hear from the neighbors, we'll hear from the city, we'll hear from everyone, and then I'll rule, okay?
Very good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Thank you.
Thanks, good to see you.